Okay, welcome to my CS50p final project. This is like my fifth take because of a lot of issues here, but let's get to it. My project title is the health risk calculator. My name is Manuel Meribole. Somtochukwu is there too. This is my GitHub and EDX username. These are the usernames. And I am currently recording from Abuja, Nigeria on the 17th of August 2025. So let's dive into the project itself. Going to expand the screen a little bit. Okay, so the base of this health risk calculator is it's basically just to predict the risk of cardiovascular mortality. So the program, the code, takes a variable number of inputs like your name, age, sex, height, weight, activity. Activity is in form of steps. The height is in centimeters and the weight is in kilograms. Weight is in kilograms. And also if you smoke or not, and also daily caloric intake. So I used regular expressions here because a lot of these inputs are very the word I'm looking for, I can't find it. I'll just use fragile, very fragile. So age, someone is going to mess around and put -7, 0.1, or age 377 or something random like that. So I made sure using the regular expressions, age has a certain range, 1 to 150. I used 150 because I don't know how old the oldest person ever was, but hey, why not? Then sex, male or female. So it takes in male and female, the M/F, not the full male or female. It takes the M or the F in both capital and non-capitalized letters. And then the height from 144 to 215. 144 is short and 215 is the tallest I could find. I just used like a regular age range here. Then the weight greater than 45 kilograms. Activity here in steps per day can be, I put here keep on restricted because some people may not have any steps per day. I don't know, but that's just what it is. And then smoking, yes or no, same thing with the male or female. And then daily caloric intake more than 500, because anything below 500, actually anything below 1,000 shouldn't be like dietitians. You shouldn't be taking anything lower than 1,000, but then I reduced mine to 500. So anything lower than 500 is going to give this here invalid input. Please try again on the same parameter it asks for. So all this here brings in a number of new values here. So it shows your BMI, B score, TDEE, T score, HRS, and the risk, and then it prints the results. So the BMI is basically it's a determinant of, well, it determines your weight based on your height. So it's not like a gold standard for determining body fat percentage or cardiovascular risk or mortality, but then anything closer would be using body fat calipers, and we don't have that. So this is like it's a very sensitive way of determining it, but not specific. You get very sensitive. So if your BMI says you're normal, well, chances are your body fat won't be elevated. So it's sensitive, like more than 100% sensitivity, or up to 100% maybe, but it's what they call it, a lot of false positives is the point. Lots of false positives. So some people, maybe based on muscle mass, they might have a higher body fat percentage. Sorry, they might have a higher BMI than others. Someone that is, let's say, 6'2", that's 188 centimeters, 6'2", and about 225 pounds, that's 188 centimeters and 100 kilograms, will come out as overweight, but a person is a bodybuilder, you understand, the body fat percentage might be lower than 10%, but I digress. The TDE here determines your total daily energy expenditure. So based on things like your height, weight, sex, and activity level, it will determine the amount of calories you burn a day. It also calculates something called the BMR, that's your basal metabolic rate, but we'll get to that in the code too. Then the HRS, that's your health risk score. So it looks at the risks from 1 to 10 plus or so. Anyhow, sorry, that's how it looks at the risk. And then the risk levels, it would classify them as low, moderate, or high. So and then it'll print these results. So I basically the three other functions I used here were for the calculations. That's the metabolism, expenditure, and health function that I used here to bring out the BMI, B score, TDEE, T score, the HRS, and the risk. So to dive in depth, so dive into the function. Metabolism takes in your height and weight and then calculates the BMI based on that here, as you can see. And then we now attribute the BMI to a B score. A B score less than 18.5 to 35, that's okay, less than 18.5, that's underweight. Greater than equal to 35 is a morbidly obese person, like clinically obese. They would start person on something like phentermine, and I won't get into medication, but you understand, or not. But then BMI from 18.5 to 24.9 would be normal. And here, and that normal is giving a score of 0, and here the else is from that 25 to about 34.9, which isn't obese enough for surgeries and medication, but it's overweight. So here I put as a comment overweight but not obese, give them a B score of 1. Now the expenditure takes in your sex, activity, age, height, weight, and intake. It calculates the TDEE, that total daily energy expenditure, is in something called is an equation called the Mifflin-St. John equation. There are different equations calculate TDEE, but this one is trusted. It's trusted, and well, back when I was overweight, this is the one I used. So hey, why not? So it would use the sex. Okay, yes, and you have to look and you have to note here that I used floats for most of the practically all the equations I did, just to adjust for everything, because in the end everything came up to decimal places. I had to round things up here, so I used float to make sure there would be no difference, not too much of a mathematical difference between things, because in math and health the points matter. Anyway, I'm looking at the float here for, I lost my train of thought. Okay, expenditure here. Look at the, okay, if person's male, this is the equation. If they're female, that's the else. Instead of putting the else, if you're not male, you're female, like according to like medically. So that's what it is. Then after that, you calculate the activity. So that's what I use to get the basal metabolic rate. This equation here, 10 times the weight plus 6.25 times the height minus 5 times the age plus 5. That's for males, and for females a different one. Then the activity multiplier here, I calculated based on public health data, and then I brought it like different research sources or different sources on the internet, brought into AI to find a set multiplier I could use. So I got here anything less than 5,000 steps give you a multiplier of 1.2, 5 to 7,500 give you 1.35, 75 to 9999 give you 1.55, and anything more than so now the health here is just 10,000 plus, but instead of writing anything, they taught us about the speed of programs and using the elif and the else. So else multiply is 1.725. So the TDE is the BMR, that's the BMR metabolic rate times the multiplier we got, and that will give us, that's TDE. And then mismatch, now that's the difference between the energy taken in, like the energy expended, and intake. So calories in versus calories out. So calories out is the TDEE, calories in is the intake. So we calculated a T-score based on that, the mismatch between the output and input. So based on the speed, based on the difference, we attach the score to each one. So 200 to 400 gives you 1, 4 to 7, 2, and greater than 700 will give you a 3. This else is meant to cover anything from 199 down to the negatives. So negatives is when somebody's intake is more than their output. So if somebody takes in someone takes in, I'm forgetting things. Someone takes in 7,000 calories and their energy expenditure is about 2000. That's negative, will give you a 0. And now the final one, health. Health takes in the T score that we calculated here, the B score from the BMI, and then the age and smoking. The age and smoking make their own scores. Age makes the A score and smoking makes the S score. So the A score from age, well, 40 to 54 gives you 1, 54 to 69, 2, and so on. And then less than 40 is an E score 0, because an overweight, a morbidly obese 25-year-old is less at risk than a morbidly obese 69-year-old. So, that's what this is for. And then smoking. Now, smoking increased. Okay, smoking is denoted by the S score. So if you smoke, it's 3 points. If you don't smoke, it's 0. So smoking, as seen here, smoking would I'm using ohms too much. Smoking would increase the S score by a lot. I mean, if a person, everything else here was normal, and they smoked, it would automatically add about 3 points. In total, 6 points, because if you see here, the S score is multiplied by 2 to make the risk. So it increases, so it adds a whole 6 here to this score. So it might, smoking alone might push someone into moderate risk, because everyone knows smoking is bad, causes a lot of things, in the lungs, in the blood vessels. Smoking is just not it. So for cardiovascular risk, smoking is not okay. So after everything here, we calculate the health risk score, same float, where we use the B score, T score, A score, and S score, and then we get these here. So if the HRSS health risk score is less than 4, the risk is low. 4 to 7 moderate, and greater than 7, that else is high. And yeah, that is the code. Now I'm going to run it here. So sorry, I'm going to run the code now so we can see how that works out. There's the terminal. Okay, so I'm doing all this because I don't want to type it. So ask my first name. Let's put Emmanuel. Okay, hello Emmanuel, answer the questions. Yada, my age, I'm 24, male, about 6'2", that's 188. I'm 98 kilograms. Ask the steps per day. I'm going to just take this up. Steps per day, I'll say I take about 500 steps per day. This is based on my the health app on my phone. Do I smoke? No, I do not. Daily caloric intake. Also, I track my calories with MyFitnessPal. This is not an endorsement, I just track them. I take about 1,850 because I'm trying to lose some weight. So it gives the results here. Your BMI, total daily energy expenditure here, 22,805, and my health risk score is 4.5 points, putting my risk category at moderate. So yeah, well, in the future I aim to make another one, but maybe more parameters, like I don't know, maybe resistance training and and other things like that. Well, yeah, that's all for the code. Yeah, I'm actually proud of it because this is something I have been wanting to do for some time. Not this particular one, but this is step 1 in what I'm trying to do. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm not sure whether I'm meant to show the test too, but well, let's hope not. Thank you everyone, and good luck on your code as well.